Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about sexism, misogyny, and slut shaming. I actually wanted to do this 2 days ago, but work happened. So 2 days ago was International Women's Day, and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was talking about sexism within our government. And she was just basically explaining how everyone focuses so much on her previous relationship with Jacob Zuma that they completely overlook her leadership skills and all of the accomplishments that all of her accomplishments and all the work that she has done to empower women within this country. And I'm sure we've all noticed it, and we all know that if the tables were turned, if she had been the one to completely wreck our country, people would cut Jacob Zuma some slack if he continued trying to pursue a career in politics. But because she's a woman, they are a little bit harsher on her. So I spend a lot of my time reading on sexism and feminism, and I spend a lot of my time on blogs like Psychology Today, Psychom, um, Oscar Manager, The Muse. And so while I was browsing, trying to escape my work, I stumbled upon what is possibly the worst blog on the planet. Fortunately, it has been shut down, good riddance, but you can still find it, and that sucks. But anyway, I went through it briefly and I came across an article that I think I want to talk about today. I was actually going to talk about something else, but I found it really uninspiring. So yeah, fortunately I came across this, so here it is. And this article, well, there's a blog or rather there used to be a blog called Return of the Kings. Yeah, it is incredibly sexist. It ranges from like advice on how to like sleep with four women because one is not enough, and it basically encourages like forceful sexual interactions, and it's terrible. Anyway, one of the articles that I'm going to be talking about today is called Five Types of Women Who Should Quit Acting Like They're Supermodels. Already from the title, you can tell that this person is incredibly misogynistic. He is judgmental of women's choices, and that this person is very condescending. They obviously think that they are an expert in talking about this. I think their name was Boo or something like that. I can't pronounce it, but yeah. So I'm just going to read through it and talk about it. Charming ladies are undeniably alluring. That's the first line. Even those who aren't quite top shelf certainly get lots of attention. Those who have good character are a treasure. Already from the first paragraph, I'm questioning if this guy is the best person to be commenting on good character. Okay, so for starters, we already know that he has like a sort of hierarchy system for women. Um, Obviously, so he thinks that some of them are top shelf and some of them are not. And we know, we haven't even continued reading, but we know that his standards are probably ridiculous, like movie standards, like old, ancient, not ancient, but like just old patriarchal standards of what a woman's beauty is, what it's about. For others, unfortunately, it goes to their heads. Since my misspent youth, I've noticed absurd results. They don't realize that the stuck up act only goes so far before the juice isn't worth squeezing. For the following, it wouldn't hurt to drop the princess complex, learn some humility, or at least show human decency. You would think that he would take his own advice, because the way that he is talking about women here does not show human decency, and it does not show humility. It shows that he thinks that he's got like this, like he's got this overinflated sense of self-importance, and he thinks he is the right person to decide like who's hot and who's not or whatever. Yeah. And number one, he has what he calls barflies. And he says, we're well aware of why some chicks are frequent flyers at clubs and bars. Using hopeful guys as free drink dispensers is only a part of it. The other part involves riding the cock carousel. I'm not going to deny that some women use guys as free drink dispensers. I have known one of those women, and like, it is manipulative behavior. It is wrong, but maybe I shouldn't say but let me rather add and it is important to note that human beings in general are not one dimensional. We are complex creatures. There is a lot more going on in a person's mind than just, I want a free drink, I'm manipulating you, I'm having fun doing this. People who do those kinds of things, I mean, just think about this for a second. Like, I knew a woman who once told me that she went through a phase in her life where she literally had no money, but she would go to a club knowing that somebody at the club would buy her a drink. Just think about how broken you have to be emotionally and mentally to in order to do that. You have to want a drink so bad. You have to want to escape so bad that you're gonna walk into a club with 0 rands and walk out drunk. Like, this guy does not understand that people go through things in their lives. People process emotions differently, and I'm not necessarily saying that women who do these things are emotionally like broken or anything like that, but I'm saying that they are trying to escape something in their lives. They're going through something. Maybe they don't like their job. Maybe they're going through something rough in their lives. You don't know that. There is a reason why they're there, and there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. And it's a lot more complex than, I am going to use you to get a drink. It's a lot more complicated than that. And this guy obviously does not understand that. Early experiences, okay, then he just goes on about his early experiences at clubs and whatnot. And he says the worst part of clubbing, though, is unfriendly attitudes. Okay, so what he considers unfriendly attitudes are actually just women who are not fawning all over him. I remember this at the time, I think it was last year. I went to a club with a friend, and at some stage she had to go to the toilet, so I stayed behind and to make sure no one's spiking her drinks or anything like that. We didn't want to leave because we didn't want somebody to take our table. So we stayed, and this guy comes and sits next to me. I was annoyed, but I didn't show that I was annoyed. Sits next to me, and he's asking me questions. Like, here's something that I've noticed about men. When they meet you and they show an interest in you, they'll ask you like a series of questions. I think they have like a checklist, and they're just ticking to see who like fits their standards, I suppose. There's, yeah, obviously based on misogynistic standards. Like, they'll ask you, where do you go? Where do you live? Who do you live with? Obviously, they're trying to gauge if they can visit you, which is very presumptuous. Do you have any children? I don't know. I think for some men, children are a deal breaker. And they'll ask you things like, what do you do? Where do you work? They want to know if you can financially support yourself or something like that. And it's really annoying because it's very presumptuous and it's very misogynistic. Like, if you like somebody, then you like them. If you don't, you don't. You don't need to go through like this checklist, this demeaning checklist, and I don't know, act like you are the person who decides if somebody is up to standard or not. Anyway, fortunately, this other girl noticed that I was getting annoyed with this guy, and she pulled me from him as though she knew me, and we started dancing together. And he got the picture, and he left. They don't always get the picture. Sometimes they get aggressive, like this guy. In fact, I think that guy and this blue guy would probably make friends. Yeah, so he thinks that's the worst part of clubbing. And then he goes on and on and on. And the message to these women is, you bar girls can drop the act. We know you're out to get picked up. If not, then congratulations, you're merely an alcoholic. He obviously thinks that women go out for sex We don't. We go out to have fun. Some women may go out for sex, and that's their choice, their lives. They do whatever they want to do. But I and my friends, we go out to have fun, to blow off some steam, to escape from the rest of the week. And yeah, that's why we go out. I don't know what kind of women you hang around with, but I'm questioning that too because it seems like you do not understand women at all. And then he goes, if not, then congratulations, you're marrying an alcoholic. That is a very narrow-minded way of thinking, to think that somebody's either out to have sex or they're out to drink. Well, they might be out to drink, but I'm not necessarily an alcoholic. And to say congratulations for a serious issue, particularly in this country, a lot of people are battling alcoholism, whether it's functional alcoholism or just alcoholism in general, or any kind of substance abuse, whether it's drugs or yeah, whatever it may be. Sometimes pharmaceuticals, and it's not. I question the character of a person who makes fun of an addiction. And then he goes on to say, number 2. Oh, we're only at number 2. Okay. Women who've hit the wall. It's a cruel fact of nature that time plays havoc on a woman's appearance. It is a fact of nature that time ages anyone, whether you are a woman or a man or wherever you fall in the gender spectrum. Eventually you age. Okay, this can be mitigated partially by sunscreen, staying in shape, and not overdoing the partying. I'm not even gonna go on about that. Okay, still a fact is that middle-aged women can't turn heads like she used to. Meanwhile, guys who are geeky teenagers start looking distinguished and increasing their personal accomplishment. This is a stereotype or a false misconception. Like, it's a misconception that people have that geeks grow out to be successful, and then the women who used to reject them in high school because they were confident and beautiful and just generally just didn't like them or whatever, are now going after them because life is not turning out well for them. And that's not true. I know a lot of women who embraced their sensuality in high school, and they were beautiful and they were heartbreakers, and they're doing well in life. And I know a lot of geeks who are not doing anything with their life. It's not about that. And the message to these women that he has is, you're not a stuck-up teenager anymore. You are a stuck-up adult, and that's worse. Again, this guy obviously cannot handle a woman who is confident and who's sure of herself and knows what she wants. The kind of women that he wants are those who are submissive and they lack in self-confidence, and maybe they've gone through something tough in their lives or they've been indoctrinated. Those are the kind of women that he prefers. And if you do not fall within that category, he considers you stuck up. Number 3 are self-proclaimed sluts. Women face conflicting messages on how they should express their natural desires, be traditional and act demure, or let it all hang out. And that's true, and it sucks. In 2019, we are still being told how to behave. We're still being told how to and how not to embrace our sexuality or our sensuality, and yeah, and it just sucks, and it happens everywhere. Like at work, people are really judgmental of women who are more like openly sensual, or they'll commend women who are not, and sometimes they even judge women who are not. Those are the people who act like false feminists, where if you cover up, they go, oh, well, don't you love your body? Like, no, I love my body, I just choose to cover up. Okay, and then he says, let me just, next one. Women letting it all hang out often show their class and sophistication by permanently memorializing their youthful mistakes. Some get inked up like truckers, bikers, and bikers. I think aesthetics are amazing. I love them. I love tattoos. I've got one. I want to get more. And bikers, I'd love to become a biker, honestly. I actually have my A1 learner's license, so I need to get my driver's license. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love aesthetics, and a lot of other people do, whether it's on a man, on a woman, or on anyone. It's like, I think it's very attractive, and I'm sure other people do too. But obviously, this guy is using it to categorize sluts or people that he thinks are sluts. Uh, And then he goes on about, oh, essentially they're branding themselves. Hopefully they remain happy with their choices. Some even call themselves sluts, which in earlier times was unthinkable. They do. There was actually a parade, I think it was sometime last year, where it's like a slut parade by Amber Rose. I think it was Amber Rose. I didn't keep up with celebrities, but I think it was Amber Rose. And yeah, I think it's amazing. People are reclaiming the word slut, they're redefining it, and they dressed the way that people expect sluts to dress. And some of these women were virgins, some of these women have only ever had one partner, some of them have had 10 partners, some of them had more than that. The point is, they are reclaiming this word, they are redefining it, and they're taking control of it so that other people, so it cannot hurt him. You know, they use it on themselves, and they use it to define themselves, and there's power in it. Whereas when somebody else uses it to demean them, then they don't have that power. And I think it's amazing. So I don't see anything wrong with that. He obviously does. Long ago, he goes on about how he met one of these. He calls them the Queen Bee, and that he was disappointed because she was a virgin. And his message is, if you're going to call yourself a slut, then you've relinquished your Vestal Virgin card forever. Again, he's got this archaic patriarchal definition of a slut that was used to bring women down, or bring women who that men felt uncomfortable with. Men, yeah, they would call those women sluts, and he's got that old definition of it, and he thinks it's got something to do with sex. It doesn't. So then the last one is the less than beautiful. We've already established that this guy has some kind of idea of what a beautiful woman looks like. He doesn't specifically describe how these women look, the women that he considers beautiful. But he's got a picture of an overweight woman here, so we can tell that this kind of woman falls outside of what he defines as beauty. And he goes, not all ladies win the genetic lottery, it is what it is. Do chicks undistinguished in the appearance category sensibly adjust their expectations and find someone who might look past their unremarkable exterior and appreciate their inner beauty? Yeah. So, like I said, he's got this idea of what beauty is like, and he thinks that women who do not fit his definition of beauty should lower their standards when it comes to the dating pool. I think this might be a personal thing for him. Like, he gets rejected by women that he thinks are not beautiful, although I'm not sure why he would approach them in the first place. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But he's obviously angry, and he feels like these women should drop their standards and maybe go for guys more like him. But beauty is just such a wide, I would call it a spectrum even. There are different kinds of beautiful, and those people need to pick their own kind of beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has what they perceive as beautiful. So, and you shouldn't settle for less. Yeah, doesn't matter what this guy thinks. From what I've seen, this leads to chronic bad attitudes. Again, bad attitude just means that you're not hopelessly in love with him. Yeah, and that is it. This blog is dreadful, and I am glad they shut it down. And it's just, yeah, there was Another one where they are bashing like the Me Too campaign, the hashtag Me Too campaign. A lot of people don't understand these kinds of things, and I'm going to be making more videos to address these issues. And yeah, I'm glad it's gone. Hopefully there's nothing else out there like it. I actually did find another blog that is sexist, and they are actually proud of the fact that they might be the most sexist blog in the world. I'm not going to give them any attention today. We might talk about it another time, or we might not, might talk about something different. But yeah, in general, men need to stop trying to tell us how to live our lives, and they need to stop slut shaming or having like a list of what the perfect woman looks like. The perfect woman is whoever the hell she wants to be, and does whatever she wants to be, and drinks however much she wants to, and we just do whatever we want. And that applies for men too, because that's what sexism is about. It's about equality, and it applies for men too. The perfect man does whatever he wants to do with whomever he wants to, and drinks however much they want to, and we're not to judge. The problem comes when you think that your standards are the one true standard, and you start bringing other people down and shaming people for your own values that are very questionable. So yeah. Anyway, guys, please hit the subscribe button. I always hear people saying that, so that's what I'm gonna say. And I will see you next week.